Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Alamag and I'm going to give you my book review. So this book review will be about Night Ranger which is written up by Dark Blue Coconut. So it has 735 chapters. It's already completed. You can read it in web novel or online. So I'm not sure if it is already been published. So I read it online. So the fictional synopsis of this story is this. So legendary player Marvin transmigrated to the eve of the great calamity. This was the end of the fourth era. All gods joined hands to destroy the universe magic pool. So the fourth fate tablet had begun maturing in the all gods, demons, legends, devils, liches, dragons, and other legendary creatures were appearing one after the other. So in order to protect his loved ones, Marvin has no other choice but to delve in the shadows. This the story of a young ranger going into the ruler of the night during the ice era. So after transmigrating into a weak body, Marvin discovered that he was familiar with the world. This was the game he played in his previous life, and yeah. So he only had 6 months before the Great Calamity. So as a former top player, he would obviously fight to save the world. Yeah, no. Time to plan and prepare for the upcoming events. Better to use that knowledge to get ahead rather than fight with gods. Follow Marvin's journey through this new world. So Night Ranger is a fantasy story where the main protagonist or the main character, Marvin Cardlin, transmigrated from Earth to a 14-year-old frail boy that was about to die in another world called Feynan. So that world, however, is almost exactly the same as the world from a game that Marvin plays back in Earth. So it's already said in the synopsis. So the only difference is it's already said, the time difference, which is 6 months before the Great Calamity when he arrived, and he is striving to protect his territory and his loved ones from the upcoming disaster using his knowledge from Earth. So there are good things and not so good things about the Night Ranger. So first are the good things. So Night Ranger is unique with how the main character, the main protagonist, is brought to the other world. So many stories usually show or have their main characters, main protagonists, start or brought to another world, usually by playing a game, although it's the same. They usually play the game and then they just suddenly arrive in the other world, or they get drugged into the game, or sometimes their main characters die and they get reincarnated as a player or as a character in another world. So mostly the other stories have their main character arrive in the expected world with his strength from the game or being extremely gifted for those cases that have died. So Marvin Cardlin, on the other hand, fused his soul with an extremely frail boy close to dying. So the character development of the story is also quite good. How they got characters being able to learn and change from what they currently are to the better. So the protagonists of the story have different backgrounds with varying personalities which adds color to the story. So the storyline of Night Ranger is also one of the best among the books I've read with similar genre. So his adventures were originally only to save his territory and his loved ones, but he encounters many events which lead us to why the great calamity will happen and the mysteries behind his identity or the identity of the Marvin Cardlin, because they have the same name, his name from Earth and the name of the boy he fused with in Finan. So he also finds out that his identity somehow seems to be related or connected with the Great Calamity. So the story is full of twists and mysteries which will excite and thrill readers throughout the story. So there are a few things that are not so good about the story. So some minor details are being redundantly expressed. So the main character, being a legend player back in Earth, is always being put up whenever he escapes from a tight situation, which is sometimes, I think, a bit annoying. And there are also important details which seem to have been forgotten by the author. So there are things from the first few chapters which seem to be very important, but after a while, the author seems to have forgotten about them, and the Marvin Cardlin seems to have been forgotten about them too. So that's not uh, I don't like it like that. So the story also shows extreme violence and sometimes lack understanding and forgiveness towards others. So it is acceptable if it is just um, the character of the main protagonist Marvin, but it seems that everyone in Finland thinks the same, even though they have different personalities in other aspects. But still, overall, the story is quite good and I recommend it to other people to read whenever they have time. It is not as famous as other novels such as Reincarnation of the Strongest Sword God or Tales of Demons and Gods, but it is still one of the best when it comes to fantasy genre novels.